Have you ever been there? You're in a French-speaking place, someone asks for your personal info, and your mind just goes completely blank? It happens to the best of us, but we're about to fix that. In this explainer, we're going to follow a simple, real-life scenario so you can share your details with total confidence.
Okay, let's just jump right in. Take a look at these questions. Could you answer them in French right now without hesitating? If you're pausing a bit, hey, don't worry about it. By the end of this, I promise you'll be able to answer them no problem. So, to make this all super practical, we're going to follow a woman named Helene. She's just signing up for a photography class. A perfect, everyday situation where you'd have to give out all this info. Let's see how her conversation goes. First up, Section 1. Let's cover the absolute basics. How to identify yourself. We're going to start with probably the most fundamental question anyone will ever ask you. Okay, so the receptionist kicks things off with Quel est votre nom de famille? This is the standard formal way to ask for a last name. And notice she uses votre, that's the formal you. We'll circle back to why that's so important in a little bit. And Helene's response is just perfect. She simply says, Ronceau. This is a great little tip. In a direct conversation like this, you don't need to say a whole sentence like, my last name is... Nope, just the name is exactly what they're looking for. Then the receptionist follows up with votre prénom. It's a bit more concise, a shorter way to ask for her first name, but it's still polite and you'll hear it all the time. And again, Elaine keeps it nice and simple. So just to recap the name part, nom de famille is for your last name and prénom is for your first. Easy enough, right? Now let's see how they get her contact information. Okay, on to Section 2, coordinates. In other words, your contact details. They've got her name, now they need to know how to actually get in touch with her. So, the next logical question is, quelle est votre adresse? What is your address? Totally standard procedure for any registration form you'll ever fill out. Now, this is where you'll start to see some key differences. Look at how Aline's address is formatted. You'll often see these little abbreviations like app for apartment or boule for boulevard. Knowing these little shortcuts is really, really useful when you're filling out forms. Next up, the phone number. Et votre numéro de téléphone? That little "e" at the beginning just means and it helps the conversation flow really naturally. Now listen up because this is a really key difference from English. In French, phone numbers are almost always read out digit by digit. So instead of saying 555, you'd hear cinq, cinq, cinq. You can see how it's broken down here. It's a small detail for sure, but it makes a huge difference in sounding natural. And finally, the email address. The receptionist asks, Quelle est votre adresse courriel? The word courriel is super common, especially in Quebec. In France, you might also hear people just say email or mail. And here is a word you will definitely want to remember. The @ symbol is called an arobase. So Elaine would read her email out loud as elaine.runso@editionsmd.com. Getting that one word right is absolutely essential. All right, let's move on to our third section, which is crucial for pretty much any official form. La date de naissance, your date of birth. And this slide shows another major difference. For official documents, the standard date format is year, month, day, or AAA, like you see here. So Helene's birthday, November 6th, 1973, becomes 1973-11-06. Remembering this order is absolutely essential for any kind of formal paperwork in French. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit away from just vocabulary and more into culture and grammar. Section 4 is all about a question every learner has. Should I use the formal vous or the informal tu? This slide lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got informal questions you might use with your friends. On the right, you see the formal structures, the ones that use vous. In our scenario, the receptionist is in a professional setting, so she always uses those formal vous forms. It just goes to show you, context really is everything. And for our final section, let's touch on a brief but very important cultural note about asking personal questions. This brings up a really fascinating point. In your culture, is it normal to state your age? And is it considered impolite to ask someone how old they are? The answer, really varies depending on where you are in the world. So let's just ask it directly. Based on what we've seen, is it generally polite to ask for someone's age in a French-speaking culture? What do you think? And the answer is, well, it depends. In a formal, official context, like Helene's registration, asking for a date of birth is completely normal. It's just for the records. But in a casual social setting, asking someone quel âge avez-vous can definitely be seen as impolite, especially with adults. So let's do a quick recap of everything we learned from Helene's registration. Remember to say phone numbers digit by digit. The @ symbol is arobase. The official date format is year, month, day. Always use formal questions in official situations. And finally, just be mindful of cultural norms when it comes to asking for someone's age. And that's a wrap on our little scenario. We've covered the essentials for giving personal information. But this whole topic really brings up a bigger question for any language learner, doesn't it? What other personal questions do you find tricky to navigate in a new language? It's something to think about as you continue on your journey.